Basically by accident. I've always been in horses, always, my whole life. Things were tough. Life is life. Well, a lot of guys were asking me, how did I train that horse for that? Well, then they wanted to buy my horses. Well, when I bought the General, I said, no, I'm not selling my horse.
Hi friends, this is Heer Patel and welcome back to another episode of Culture of Horse. In this video, we have talked a lot about horses with Mr. Jim and we have tried to take some information from him. If you don't want to miss that, then watch this video till end. Thank you so much.
Jim, could you share with us the journey that led you to establish J&J Quarter Horses in Wolf?
How I got started?
Oh yeah.
Basically by accident. I've always been in horses, always, my whole life. So I did a bit of rodeo, I did a bit of this, did a bit of that, broke train horses here and there. And then anyhow, things were tough. So I got hurt a bit, you know, stuff like that. Life is life.
Yeah.
So I decided we had another farm. And I started into there, and I went and got my horse. I had to get a new horse. So I was up north, things went bad up north, so I had to move back down here. No work, no money, right?
Yeah.
So I came back down to these parts. So down here, more people, the economy started booming sooner. So anyhow, I started picking up little jobs here and there and get my life going back in. Picked up a horse and started showing. Picked up the shows because there's money to be made in showing in Saddle Club and fairgrounds at that time. So it was small money, not big money, but it paid the fuel and paid for food for my horse and sometimes for me. Wow. So I would do that, and then I would start hitting more and more shows. Sometimes 2 to 3 shows in a weekend, easy. You know, sometimes 4 or 5 shows near the end. So then what would happen is I didn't bother to go to the high levels because too much competition, too much money outlay, and you know your money wasn't coming in. So I went in to games, barrel racing, that type of stuff. And the showmanship, there was a lot of competition because it's easier.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of people will say that it's easier, but it isn't. You have to get that horse dead on.
Yep.
Right? Is walking, is everything. You have to brush them. Tedious type work, and that's not me.
Yeah.
I'm more for the speed, the rough stuff. So a lot of guys were asking me, how did I train that horse for that? Well, then they wanted to buy my horses. So, and that's what happened, was I would buy a horse, get them going, then somebody would offer me good enough money, and sure, I would let them have that horse. They promised to look after him, all of that stuff, no problem, until I bought the General. Yeah. Well, when I bought the General, I said, no, I'm not selling my horse. This is my horse, I'm not selling him. So then what happened was people started bringing me horses to start training. Can you do this to my horse? Can you know, and I did. So I started training horses. Well, then I was breaking horses for riding camps. A lot of the riding camps were having troubles getting horses quiet enough for the city people. I have that knack that I could take a horse, figure out what was wrong with it, and get it to go quietly. So next thing I knew, I'm now breaking and training all these horses for riding camps.
Yeah.
And then the city people kept coming in. They wanted, the girls, can you make my horse quiet, spook-proof? So we did nowadays they call it spur stop. Back in the day, I taught the horse when it spooked, so the horse would all of a sudden jump.
Yeah.
Okay, horses are a flight animal.
Yeah.
Flight animals are like deer, they run away. I taught the horse to stand. So you have 3 seconds. That's all you have. Once that horse stands, you got 3 seconds to touch it and relax it. After that, he's no longer spooking. Okay, now it doesn't say he won't keep spooking because he'll all of a sudden jump again and again. So I taught him to stand. Just stand there, take a look, calm down. So, and like I say, that's the 3-second rule. You have 3 seconds to let that horse know that you will look after him. So, and I did all that. So then, and then I started to teach the people, because now the people want to know, how did you do that? How did you get this horse that would have a piece of paper, you know, flying across the arena or going on a trail ride and a bunny rabbit jump out? How did you get that horse to stop? Well, okay, to me it was easy. So now I started teaching the people. So people can be funny. You know, I mean, funny and not ha-ha funny, funny and temperamental type, you know. Okay, as long as it's working, you're the best. You can be a hero or an asshole all in the same sentence, right? So so now you have to work with these people. Now I have to figure the people out. So and there's no two people the same, but there's no two horses the same. I have never yet come across two horses the same. Similar, but not the same. It's like people.
Yeah.
So two people are not the same. There's always something different about. So now, why? So then I started watching all this, and I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute. I'm teaching this horse. I'm breaking, training, and teaching this horse for this person. But I need to know how that person reacts. So I'd have to work with them for a little bit. It doesn't take long. I mean, I'm not there to learn their life history. I'm just there to learn their character. Learn the character, match it with the horse. Now you got an awesome thing. Now that horse, once you teach it to the person, then they say, oh, this is easy. And what happens is, once it becomes easy, it becomes fun. Now you got a bond between your horse and the rider. And usually it's lifetime bond. They will not sell their best friend.
Yes.
Right? And so what happened was, all these people started learning all this stuff. Well, they didn't want to leave. Hence the boarding stable.
Yes.
So I'm now gone from breaking and training to teaching people and doing lessons. Well, they didn't want to leave because they felt secure with me there.
Yeah.
So I started the boarding stable. I had the farm. I had all these other horses. I had my brood mares and my stallions and that. So now what was happening, because I'm growing my herd. Every time I got a little extra money, I bought another horse.
Yeah.
Another horse, another foal. So now I managed to get into a couple nice studs, nice stallions. Now I can breed my own mares because you got some bloodline. So now I've got my own foals. So now I can break and train and teach and sell my own horses. Which, if I would have kept on going, the economy, you know, is always up and down. That's the world, the way it goes, right? So, plus people up and down too, as you get older and stuff. So I started the boarding stable and it started taking up too much of my time. So what was happening is now I'm still showing, and I'm boarding, and I'm teaching. So then I started doing little clinics. Well, then I started running some of the horse shows and helping out. I started out helping. Next thing I knew, I was doing them. Okay? Not because anybody else is it's just because I had that kind of energy that I was able to jump in and say, you know what, I can do this. You go up one with your horse, I'll do this, and carry on. And next thing you know, your life will just keep going down these trails. And so then the boarding stable, well then my barns are full. So then I had to start another one. And then I had to start another one. So I had a few farms on the go. So the problem was, and it was fun. So it was a lot of fun back in the day, and it still is fun. Most of the time it's fun. But the problem is, as we age, it now becomes work. When it becomes work, it is no longer fun. You keep your work to pleasure, it is no longer work, it is pleasure. But the minute the work becomes work, now it starts to work on your system and it starts to draw you down. Well, then I also realized I wasn't spending as much time with my horse. I wasn't doing the things that I really enjoyed because the people's demands were there that I needed to stay. So, and that's how come I started backing down and getting people to take over the other farms, and next thing I knew, they were running the farms. So then I was able to step back. And when I stepped back and I only had the one farm, then I could focus more on that. I was the breeding, the horse industry, for whatever reason. I mean, we all say the do-gooders come in and they stopped all the horse meat guys and all of this type of stuff. It's still, it is what it is, and the economy jumps up and down, and away we go. So my brood mares, I decided I'm going to let my brood mares go. I brought them all up, broke them all to the saddle, because my brood mares I left wild. So I handled them, but nobody else. They all knew who I was, so I'd go in and out of my herd, no problems, but they were getting pretty rough, and they were getting aged now. So it was time to break them to the saddles and find good homes for them. And that's what I did. My mares never, they never had to have the foals. They were getting aged, and it was time to retire them. So I found good homes for them all. And they all stayed at them homes until most of them all passed. So there's a few still alive yet today, but most of them are gone. So my stallions, I gelded them and found good homes for them too. Yeah. So that meant I got out of the breeding. But in that time, we had a lot of fun. There was a lot of babies, and I mean, you can't beat that foals. I mean, you get a foal that just hit that dirt. I mean, that's just a life. That's awesome. And then you got your mares and your stallions and all of that. But nowadays it's just me and the boarding stable. Yeah. So I think I've still got 40 head of horses still. So which aren't all mine. I mean, they belong to the boarders.
Yeah.
I think I've got four of my own. 3 or 4 of my own horses. So and then they'll stay with me until they're gone. Yeah. So that was my start, and I'll stay with my horses until I'm gone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Friends, thank you so much for enjoying this video until end. Please do like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel. Don't forget to press the bell icon. It will notify you first when we'll be uploading the video. So to watch more videos like this, please stay tuned.